I will use this wheel of names. I done it this way because there are too many people sometimes to look at. So I'm gonna put in all the names in here. So we got Swanee, we got, let me see who is there as well. Susan, we also got Blood, I think, and I'm just gonna put in your names in there. Also, we got another one. It's for Cross. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna put in your name as well. Who else we got? We're missing anyone? Susan Trafalgar, are you gonna get your what too? I'm just gonna put in your name just in case, because you mentioned you're gonna load up the game. Now, it's also, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I2 or E2?
Yeah, you got it perfectly.
I2, okay, perfect. Now, I'm gonna put in your name too. I think we got everyone. I think there's everyone. If you guys wanna join, let me know. I can put in your name.
What's the name for the wheel for?
It's just so we can choose the watts. It's gonna be random, so you guys, it's not gonna be me biased looking at the specific characters I want. Yeah, because the thing is, we usually don't have time to do watts for everyone. It's just 1 hour, maybe a little bit more. So yeah,
You can throw my name on there too if you want.
Oh, Snacks. Okay, perfect. I'll put in your name. That's fine. Okay, also got Snacks. I would prefer any of the new characters, so if you can put in your notes, that's perfect. Okay, same mine with the first code. Okay, perfect. Let's spin the wheel. Let's just get something. Okay, who we got? We got Swanee, I think. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna remove your name, and I will use the code you sent me. It's been mostly strange. I think we've done a lot of the Strange before. The big thing about Strange, just tank in general, is making sure that you're able to absorb pressure at the right time in the right place. That's what I always talk about. I've been top 10 tank myself as well in Overwatch, and in Marvel Rivals reached 0.1% too, so I think I can pretty much focus on fundamentals for now. Let's watch. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me those too. Okay, the recording is up as well. Okay, for anyone, if you guys want to watch it later. Oh, well, we got pretty long game, 27 minutes. Seems pretty close. Interesting to take a look at. This map is pretty familiar. I think a lot of people learned all the rotations and such, so it's can be good to take a look at. Okay, so we're starting with just trying to go to this main choke. That's fine. Just focusing the front line here a little bit. I see that you staying a little bit out in the middle at this point. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Some general pressure, and we getting forced back because with too low HP we're missing out the shield as well. That's fine. We just need to regen a little bit. Okay, keep pushing, sure, taking space. The uptime is pretty good. That's what I see already. Just knowing the small mechanics too, that's perfect. Constantly farming your E. Once you farm your E, you can go in and do damage. The big thing about E though is if you're able to set up the E on one of the backliners, just hit any squishies, that can be even better, ideally. So we want to aim to do that as much as possible. What I want you to do slightly better in here though is try to think about at any point of time your cover as your natural shield, and this is the usual stuff you probably heard from maybe if you play Magneto or you play just any other tanks in general. I think you don't have to take a lot of unnecessary damage, and you've seen here when we are staying out in the middle just like this, like you can see now, it can be pretty complicated, I think. So in my opinion, if you instantly lean towards any of these structures, for example, if you lean towards the left side in here, or maybe you even choosing to use this horizontal structures, your coverage just go up and shoot from there. I think this is completely fine. You kind of trying to use the corners as much as possible, and if the enemies are making a big commitment with their resources and cooldowns, then you can answer with your shield, because their shield here, it can absorb pressure from this backliners or someone in the back who we don't want to even block right now, because your team is controlling what's in front of them currently, in front of the choke. Obviously, we're prioritizing to shoot the squishies, all that stuff, but I think it's less important to take that damage from, for example, that person, that invisible woman currently. So we can just try to take the cover to the left, or possibly, like I said, using the right or above. It doesn't matter where you are, but I just want you to instantly lean towards the cover, so your shield will not get forced, and it allows you to maintain a little bit more of the space later on. It's sort of you using the shield selfishly at all points of time, and if the enemy is being aggressive towards you, then you can start using that. You start using that for just maintaining the space, helping yourself, being
Gotcha.
just making sure you have enough HP. But the uptime is good. I love the uptime. I just think you can do a similar thing when you're playing the corners here a little bit more right at the start. And it shows even here, I like the damage, that's fine. But I want you to instantly think, okay, how do I set up? Maybe let's just move towards the right side. Or maybe let's just move towards the left side later on. And this is completely fine, I think. You don't have to just keep playing towards the main all the time. There's also another thing for any lower rank players. A lot of times what I hear is they sort of feel that they have to play in the front line, and because they're playing in the front line, that protects your team. In reality, a lot of times it's not true, because when you play in these positions, like this out in the open, in the middle, you take a lot of pressure, so you're not able to do pressure by yourself, and because we're not doing pressure by ourselves, then this lowers opportunity for you to just push the enemies back. Yeah, you're not able to absorb the pressure, this good pressure, and that's why your team eventually they will take more damage. And in reality, a lot of times the enemies can ignore your shield. They can just take an angle which is maybe slightly to the left or slightly to the right. You go somewhere above and still go behind the shield in a way, so you don't have to feel obligated to stay with your team and can do your own thing. As long as you put the pressure at the right time, the right place, you're good, pretty much. Especially with this, I think the shield got nerfed slightly, if I'm not mistaken, right? So that is something to keep in mind too. It's just not allowing you...
Do not comment on this. Don't comment on this.
Okay, I'm just... Well, what you done there is completely fine. You just went to deal with the torch. I think this last member alive. Okay, this is interesting here. So, you, as Strange, you can do quite a lot of things. And a lot of people, I think, keeping their shift to just as an escape tool, but I think it's totally fine if you deal with anyone the most aggressive angle at the time and just keep holding those positions. So in theory, if you know there's somebody coming up here or coming up there, this can be even higher priority compared to those guys at the front line, because any off angle provides more damage. You probably heard that off angle is really good. That is something what I focus on a lot with my coaching. I tell people you can take off angle. What is off angle? Off angle is a position away from your core. For example, if my core is here, then position on off angle could be here, could be there. Off angle can be anywhere away from the core, but it's just the quality of the angle what matters. So to be honest with you, it's okay that if you can go after those guys, that's completely fine. So for example here, I honestly would like you to also pay attention, if that's possible, to this guy a little bit more, potentially. Maybe shoot them a little bit more, because they exactly taking that aggressive angle, and you the one who is better at dealing with them compared to someone like Magneto, for example, which they don't have a lot of mobility. So maybe it would be even okay if you set up here and you just keep shooting. You keep shooting. Maybe you would be shooting the backline members. You would be trying to drop from here while your team is doing stuff here. But now we're kind of stuck at this same area with the rest of our team. So I think it might be a little bit complicated to take space. Obviously, if you have big ultimates like Invis or Cloak and Dagger, then you can drop because you have big advantage. But if you're not, then pay attention to the map control first off and see what you can do with that. Yeah, ult is fine. You just kind of get out tempo back. Yeah, really good uptime with the E as well, as I mentioned before. Okay, we probably gonna win this fight. Yeah, nice. Let's watch what's gonna happen next. We are starting out just pressured, this main side again, thinking who most likely can take an angle. Maybe it can be their Bucky, can be their Torch a little bit. I like that you're taking the slide off angle. Like we said, it's not only good that you just taking another position because it diverts enemy attention, but you also deny the enemy from taking those positions. So your Magneto is here, you're here, slide to the side, that's completely fine, I think. You just keep diverting their attention, firing from two directions, and we're pushing them back this way. Perfect. I'm not sure how valuable it is, but probably if you can shoot this Torch guy at this point would be fine too. I know it's harder to hit, but to be honest with you, you don't even have to land a lot of shots. It's just the pressure itself, which can potentially pressure them back and make them misposition a little bit. This is really unfortunate. We get hooked. But this is partially on what I said. When you move it in, think what is that structure using at the time. So what are we using now? Yeah, what are we leaning towards? Are we leaning towards here? Are we leaning towards there? If you're out in the open, there's a high chance you get hooked in like that, yeah? But because you play near this something, then you can always peek out, peek back, and then this guy will not be able to hit the hook on you. Maybe you can dodge that. Hook is a projectile, yep, so you can also play around that too. Once they cast it, I know it's harder in the chaos of the fight, but once they cast it, you kind of hide, and or maybe your shield is also a good thing to use, but just by default, cover can save you too, in my opinion. Okay. We are starting slowly here. Also interesting how you use your TP. Do you remember? Do you have any sort of strategy? What are you doing with the TP here? Or is it just...
So it was, I wanted to get back to the fight to keep the tempo because I knew that I could get my ult by the start of the regroup.
Yeah, I think that's fine. If you know you need to keep up the tempo, you can use that. I'm just curious, in the fights like this and the payload maps, I think sometimes you can be creative as well, but yeah, because you have your ultimate, I think it's fine. You can kind of keep it just for interesting angle. Just make sure that you TPN come from an off angle, maybe you hold the back line. It's really good.
Right. Yeah. Ideally.
Ideally, yeah, if we can. Okay, we're slowly pushing through. That's good. I think we don't have to do too much at this point, just because we have the tempo. Okay. This one is interesting. I think the way we keep up the tempo is completely fine. I'm just not too sure if this is necessary to use our ult now, even though I understand that you're trying to secure the fight. But the thing is, about ultimates and just advantage in general, if you're able to ult later, if this is possible, then this is something you want to do, I think. And the thing is, your card is here. So ultimately, you usually have those three places where you fight. It's going to be the space here, it's going to be the space there, and the space there. Now it seems that you invest in the space number 3, but your card is around space number 2. So in theory, if you ult around here, it will be better because you eat more time from them. Yeah, you still can abuse the fact that you have the tempo. You got one member, but just keep playing slowly in a way because you already have too big of an advantage. It's 5v6, so you can keep pushing, and if they actually answer with something, then maybe you can use your ultimate again. Ideally, you just make them stretch a little bit, push in towards, yeah, you just trade with those cheaper cooldowns in a way, and then after that you can use the ultimate. Right now, I think it's not too necessary, even though it feels that we're kind of forced to do so, because otherwise you might die, but that's why I think you can just think about pushing in slightly defensively when you have this advantage, right? After the E, maybe just lean back a little bit more, it will be also okay, in my opinion. It's just really niche thing, but it just helps to not over-invest when you have a big advantage, I think. Okay, other than that, it's fine. I think you have really good uptime here. Can keep pushing those guys. Yeah. And you could also see that ultimate didn't do like too much, right? Because your
Yeah.
team maybe is not fully investing inside this space here, but if they would be, like now, your Punisher has perfect angle, this also has some sideline here, then this ultimate would get more value too. It's just we're fighting for that space where most of your team is active, maybe, let's put it this way too. Okay. Just pressure. That's fine. Probably shoot the backliners, this one with women a little bit more, but yeah. You guys have the tempo at this point. I think you should make it. Yeah, you won the fight. You got the card. That's okay. Now they invest in their ultimate. You can play slower. That's good. Not pushing up too much. I also really think that a lot of players underestimate that, but you need to just destroy their ultimate as fast as possible. Whenever you see, and you have that opportunity to, you can sort of peek shoot from here. I think this is higher priority. It's pretty easy to destroy right now, to be honest. It doesn't have too much health, and it's higher priority compared to shooting any of the tanks or anyone else, because you just bind more space this way afterwards. Yeah, they have a lot of shields anyway, so it's going to be really hard for you to do any meaningful damage. So at this point, just keep shooting the ultimate. Okay.
I think at that particular moment, I knew if I went in with that charge with the E, it would blow the beacon and get damage to everybody for like massive all charge.
Yeah, I think this is good. Yeah, with the E, probably.
But I think I'd lose the next like chance after that to like. It would have been better to just keep it and shoot it down.
Yeah, I think I wonder it's probably higher value if you even don't shoot those guys. When you've been around the corner, you just shoot the ultimate, you have the E afterwards, I think it's fine. And there's also a slight... Yeah, I think
this low-key was a throw here. If I would have just stayed there on that cover where I was at, you know what I mean? I would have probably stayed alive and we could have kept tempo.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of when they invest something big, trying to play slower and try to build an advantage. Here, the advantage would be if you destroy an ultimate, and then after that, you have your E, which would be perfectly fine to regain the tempo afterwards after you destroy the ultimate, I think. And, well, maybe you farm your ultimate at the end too, who knows. Maybe your team uses ultimate too, which is really good. You can push up with that. Okay, well, it's been a brief look at your replay so far. Do you have any questions? We can take a look at another one.
No, I think that was very valuable and insightful. Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much just, angles and stuff. Definitely looking at it, I stay out in the open a little bit too much, right? Brawling.
Yeah. So, till there are corners, making sure we play towards those. You first off set up near corners and then pressure. Second, maybe thinking about the tempo a little bit more. If you have big advantage, then just keep it. Don't over-invest. And if they have big advantage, then play slower. Just make sure you build up advantage slowly. And then after that, you can have that spike of pressure and invest your own stuff. Yeah, like later on when they will be pushing in or something, you can punish that as well after you destroy the ultimate. That's also good. The fact that you play corners, you can abuse, sort of bait them to push you sometimes because they have to deal with you, and because they going towards your space, you can just punish that them for that. Okay, let's have another replay real quick.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. If you got any questions later, let me know. You can always send me questions.
Let's get that Fumi out of VOD.
Yeah. Okay, who we got? Are we gonna get blued? Okay. All right. Let's watch their replay. And
he's not even here. He's not even here, bro.
Hey, he's not here, but he did put in the name, actually. He did put in the code. Let me see. Did he?
He's in the other VC. I can go tell
him. Well, that's fine. Regardless, we can watch this replay too. I think they can rewatch the later, but it's fine. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. We can take a look. I'm doing the replays, whoever is submitted, so it's alright. As I mentioned, you guys can always rewatch too. I remember we've done some of the replay review with them before. They mostly wanted to focus on what Salak, a Salak game, but swap Baki. But I only wanna look at Salak. Sure. What is their name here also? I wonder. Maybe it's Gibby.
Yeah. This is Altacom.
Okay. GM too. Okay, we
After this, can I get added to the wheel too?
Okay, we
I keep
got.
interrupting.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
I was asking if I could be added to the wheel
Oh
after
yeah,
this.
yeah. Of course, of course. Let me see your name. Estion. Okay, I'm gonna put in there as well. Okay, Estion, and now get plenty of people.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you add it to the list too? I just pulled up. My bad, I'm late.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Let's do that.
Also, my first time, so I don't know. Do I have to send a code in or?
Yeah, just send your code in the chat here. Put in any notes, anything you want me to focus on a little bit, and we'll be fine.
Is it a game that you won or lost, or like just advice on? Because
close game would do just fine. Any close games where I felt like you played a bust, it's always good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe
right,
if there's anything specific you want me to focus on as well, you can just put in the code, but I usually suggest just put in any close game. Okay, so first off, I think with the Psylocke, a lot of times what we're looking at is angle control, how you're trying to set up on the flank, or I also like to say 90 angles a lot of times, because this way you divert the enemy attention. So this is really good. If you're able to do that right away, you win a map control first, and then afterwards you could try to either get a kill or contribute to the space what your team does. Yeah, for example, here, in this case, we got this 90 angle, and we're almost able to get a kill in the Magik, so that's why it feels that it's starting committing towards this here, which is okay. I would not be necessarily thinking if they commit towards your team maybe about giving up this angle right away, because they don't have too much of a choice but go towards their team at this point, but it's okay-ish. I think there's always gonna be good reason why you give up the angles, so it's okay. We get a kill, that's decent. After that, we just keep pushing. You have the tempo, you have the advantage. It's fine if you just keep shooting, yes. They already lost a lot of resources at this point. Okay, probably get the kill, yeah, that's fine. Just making sure we're not over in west at this point, so you don't die. You just kind of keep pushing, taking space. Keep the tempo going, okay. I got this too, perfect. Yeah, really good uptime as well. You can see it's working perfectly fine right now. Yeah, at this point, when the fight is about to start, it's gonna be a 6v6. We really need to think about our setup again, need to think about angles, how we approach that. I really like that, looking for the sneaky option. Unfortunately, you get detected. I'm wondering if there's a better angle for you to be at, so you're not getting scouted. It's just...
yeah, this is probably not that good. It's in their spot.
Yeah, it's just slightly... It can work. I think you want to make sure that you don't get scouted at places like this. If there's ever a potential for them to look at you two different places, that's usually going to be harder. I think you need to think about anything what's different later on. Because this is a little bit too high risk. You might get spotted because people go from main, people might go from the right. You heard that too. So it becomes a little bit harder. And then you lose this uptime at the end. So you rather think about where the fight is going to be. Objective, most likely. This choke here is really good to fight at. And later on, you probably can set up. Even, let's say I'm sneaking in behind this corner. This is better because there's sort of only one side that can be looking at me. Yeah, if they like really peek this way, then maybe. Basically, you can figure this out all the time. You can always see, but the fundamental idea is making sure they're not able to look at you from two places, at least. I think it's always good. Yeah, the angle like this, I'm again to the side, and it's just also one location where they can't really look at me. Not sure. Well, you have the fine angle, but unfortunately you guys lose this Doctor Strange here, and they're also using their own ult. It's definitely...
Also, like when you're down as a DPS, you should just make a play instant, because you guys lose the advantage, because the resource disadvantage. You just make a play and see what happens.
Yeah, I think this is true. this is true to some extent. You just want to make sure that when let's say, if they overinvest sometimes in this situation like this, sometimes it can be good to kite as well if you have that option. So I wonder if this can be the case with this here. Actually, because they invest in their Venom, you lost one. I wonder if you even need to use the ult now. Maybe you can wait for the better opportunity. I think if you're really confident, let's say you're really confident, you get a kill, then it can be okay. But because the tempo is really in their favor, like let's say they saw in every possible ult, right? They again would not ult in this case too, because it's just you're not going to be able to build up tempo. So I think I think it might be slightly better if we just hold on a little bit based on what we saw before. But see, it's one thing after another. Maybe your setup before, it could lead to the situation where you would ult in a better timing, so just Doctor Strange will not die, stuff like that, and then you can just have the 6v6 and then you start off with ultimate. I think this is also part of the problem too. But yeah,
I think my Luna should have matched, though. I think my Luna not matching is troll.
Yeah. The thing is, we can't control our teammates, so I totally get it. If they can...
That's why I ignored her. I was thinking, like, what are we doing?
If they're well, I think you're fine. If they match, then you probably will invest the ultimate. Like we said with Doctor Strange, for example, in our previous review, also talked about, well, if you kind of can have this even score of the fight in a way, or a slightly higher score, then it's fine. But if the enemies have too big of a value, too big of a score, then maybe don't do much. Just wait if you have that option. No, I think it's always good to be high risk when you're at big disadvantage. If you realize you can't kite and you're gonna die if you're trying to go back and kite. So it can be one of the cases too. But yeah, in this case, it's just probably because you have a lot of mobility, you can hold on to. Okay, we are going from the side. They are matching. Well, a lot of stuff. It's happening right now. I think it's fine. Pretty chaotic fight, but at this point you just need to make sure you secure their backline. I think it will be okay. Yeah, get any low targets, fine. And let's see our setup afterwards, where we want to be. Okay, waiting. We're searching.
Snowflake.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think it should be on you most of the time, or Moon Knight, because you guys are on the angles all the time. So it's good. Yeah. Okay, setting up. That's okay angle for us. They starting in with the Venom. We're going for the back line. When should we get out? And
this is tricky. Yeah.
So, I think if you're able to, the pressure itself is okay. We sort of timed it in a final way too. Your team is pretty active at the moment. Probably, if you can.
Dash to my team.
Can you repeat that again?
No, like, do you think I should have just dashed directly to my team instead of trying to stay on the angle?
Aren't you dashing towards your team in here, actually?
I mean, my first dash, like the first one, I used it to go to the side here so I could keep on poking.
I think it's good if you're trying to maintain. I wonder if you do the same, let's say you use your second, dash to here, and just try to stay in the angle and then move this way. What do you think? Would work?
That would have worked better too, yeah.
Because they also invested their dash too, I think. And if you're able to maintain the angle, I think that's fine. It just, you need to look at, if there's a really high risk for you to die, then probably, yeah, you can go towards the team. But if not, I would just continue maintaining. I really love if you can do that as much as possible, because we keep diverting the attention, the resources. So it's fine. In this case, it's just reading this. Okay, they don't have this, probably move in here. We keep separating, kind of just making sure that we control this lane. Well, probably get your resources back. Yeah, maybe get that, whatever, the snowflake, whatever the support they need. And then after that, we can try to keep pushing, keep rushing from that angle. But now we can end up in an awkward situation in the middle. That's why there's a danger in this case when you go back to your team. So I wouldn't do that right away. I wouldn't do it here. I would just probably keep the angle option as much as possible. Yeah. Okay. How about ultimate too? Is one of the big things. If you ever notice you die with your ultimate and the fight is lost, then this is something to think about. Maybe you could have turned that around because you had that ultimate, but unfortunately, because we dashed in this way, it's pretty complicated at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. We got plenty of other guys. So, do you have any questions about anything? Maybe anything you want me to ask, or if not, we can move towards other boards. So, do you have any? Oh, let me see the chat as well.
I think that's all. Thank you.
That's okay, perfect. Yeah, I know it's pretty brief, but so far, to summarize, making sure that we stay on the angle longer, looking at the tempo with your ultimate, I think, and making sure that your setup is not affecting you afterwards, especially when you got your ultimate as well. If it's coming up, if it's 80% plus, you're gonna get your ultimate, so you need to think ahead so you'll not get scouted. It's good to be patient in this case because it's high value resource compared to your pure pressure, pure mouse one. So I think just looking at it this way. Okay, we got other codes in here. Okay, I think I put in everyone. Okay, let's spin. Are we gonna get cross? Perfect. Okay, let's remove the name and let me see your notes. Okay, you mentioned... Alright, got my replay ID ready. Feel like my ult usage was terrible when I was flanking with Wanda. I would get caught out a lot. Okay, we can focus on that if you want to. We can focus on your ult usage a little bit. I think the Wanda is one of the characters where you can take angles a lot too, like you can do in the Salak, and it's just the timing of the pressure, maybe it's just the positioning itself. Okay, I think I put in the space. Okay, now it's good. What is your ID? ID is... can you, if you hear cross, can you give me... Oh, this is you, Crossius. Okay, got you. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me those too. All those lobbies are pretty high ranked. It's everyone's so high ranked in Academy currently. You guys ranking up non-stop. Okay, we got Start on Punisher, but where are you playing Wanda? Are you playing Wanda later?
Is this working now?
Oh, sorry, what was it?
I played Wanda towards the end during overtime because I noticed their supports weren't dying that often. I played Punisher for most of the start. I think my Punisher ults were really bad, so I just wanted to know how to use those better.
Oh, okay, so you want to focus on the ults a little bit more. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
that's
Punisher
fine.
ultimates mostly, and then you don't, if we're running out of time, you don't have to cover the Wanda. It was just, I feel like I was getting caught out, like using my shifts too early, like her fades too early and stuff like that.
Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, okay, let's take a look at the ultimates. I'm just gonna look at every fight with the ultimates pretty much. Okay, we got an ultimate now. You have the tempo, so you don't have to do much right now. I want to say right away, the thing about ultimate on Punisher, a lot of people underestimate that you can actually go and just position somewhere in the angle, like even using your shift to just reposition, and this way you provide more burst, I think. So it's just not only you looking to get kills, I think it's mostly you just trying to get the space. And if you force an enemy in unfavorable spots which your team can push, this is really good. You don't have to do a whole lot, especially at the higher tier as well. People are really good at just avoiding your ultimate in a way, yeah, just not dying to it. So I think it's fine if you think about the ultimate through the lens of map control. If you're able to get more done with that this way, that's fine. Yeah, just a little bit of over pushing here. Yeah, it's like... You have a... Yeah, you had big advantage, but this is a little bit too much. You probably would need to just set up for this fight over here. That's okay. Let's see what we're gonna do after. It would be really good as well for that fight if they start pushing. You exactly just set up your ultimate. I think that is really good. Just thinking about the space where we're fighting first and then go for it. Yeah, we start with our turret. Okay. Actually...
Yeah, that was embarrassing, my bad.
Yeah, I'm just thinking at this point because they using their cloak and dagger. You also using the Namor. At this point I am not too sure. First off, when you stay out in the open, it can be quite easy to get a kill on you because a lot of damage coming in. So I think you gotta choose the position. So you kind of either deal. Let's say I want to position the left side, and I deal with those people on the right, or a position here on the top right. Then I just minimize my hitbox this way, so I only deal with those people. So first off, it's something to start with, and then you can think about your ultimate too, but now you just end up in the situation where out in the open becomes complicated. Yeah. We'll just hold on our ultimate in this case because of it too. You're not able to get that much value, unfortunately. Oh, that's unlucky. I think if you get up there, it's just a really good angle for you in general there. If you can, why not? Okay, waiting. See, especially here, I think one of the things for you to think about, what if you keep your shift for rotation anywhere you want to? I literally can go all the way left side, or I can go all the way right side. Shift for rotation, use the ultimate, and this way you buy more space. What happens? Because you position here on the A, this guy's forced to hide. How? They're gonna be forced to hide behind, I don't know, maybe behind this, or maybe inside the building here, or behind the cart. And this is something what's pushable for your team. You just zone them out this way, which makes it easy for your team to push. Stuff like that. Maybe you get kills too, if they're out in the open, but I think ulting from main, a lot of times not good, to be honest. This is gonna be important thing. It's only good if you realize it really is an opportunity for you to get kills, which is not the case here. There are only tanks in front of you. You may get some kills done, but I think it's pretty tough. And even trying to lean towards this angle right away, right? But if you have the shift for that, I think it would be even easier for you to just get more value out of this. Venom is really scary if they're trying to do anything, so that's good. Okay, let's skip for just any other fight. Okay, we got this is a... Okay, so a little bit further forward, 76, and yeah, this is when we have our next ultimate. Okay, just waiting, pushing from the spawn, shooting, that's fine. Oh, this guy might be pretty annoying for you. Oh well, you're fine, you're surviving, you're in the spawn, so we'll be okay. And say even here, right away thinking, what space I'm fighting for, and maybe planning for your ultimate, I think it's okay to just even force out something from them. Let's say force out Cloak and Dagger, force out even their Punisher to ult as well. Why not? So from here, it just feels less comfortable, honestly. I would just really like you go right, go left, use your shift. To be honest, if you get pushed by someone like this guy alone will push you, you can deal with that, I think, as long as you keep your team line of sight too. They can support you. You have the Mantis, you have Cloak and Dagger, so that's okay-ish, to be honest. It's yeah, the angles. Just get an angle first, in my opinion, would be really perfect for you. Okay, are we gonna get an ultimate for this overtime? Yeah, probably. That's fine if you have no choice. But see, you kind of also stuck in this animation, right? You're not able to do anything. So see, from here, you start dropping in your Doctor Strange TP. Based on what we mentioned, could you be using your shift and go somewhere and then use your ultimate? Where could you go right now?
I could have went on the height, or maybe like behind them on that ledge there.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think this is can be pretty good too. You can maybe quickly kill that, but this is also fine, to be honest. You can just control the space like this way. This might be a little bit more risky because they have the spawn room coming in from here, so it's okay. Just set up first. You have the Hulk on the point. Let them be. Yes, it's overtime. You need to touch, but you still have people to touch. So provide the bottom-up control first. Make sure that you set up there first. You're not able to use your shift in old form, and you don't have the best line of sight from there either. And to be honest, again, exposed to multiple stuff. If you're on the main angle, will be complicated. Okay.
So it's more of just like my positioning when I'm using my ults. really.
I think it's really beneficial, honestly. A lot of people don't think about that, but I remember even at early days, I remember when I was playing, I exactly thought if you guys ever played the game like Overwatch, there's a character, Bastion, the turret. The turret mod is insane. The turret can do so much damage, and the idea is being more flanky-ish and unpredictable with your angles, going off angles more, so you can be like sort of assassin sometimes. You can just even go in the backline, because it provides so much burst, and if you sync it with your team, that can be perfectly fine, honestly. And I think it's one of the characters where you can do that. There's one of the guys, and I've been playing with them too, you maybe know, there's a streamer, their name is Kragi. When I was playing, I constantly saw them exactly do this. They zip somewhere, they just try to position on the angle first, and then they ult afterwards, because, well, first off, you're sneaking in additional value with your what's it called, the zip, yeah, with your zip, and then after that you're doing the batter for map control. Yeah, you're forcing out the enemy in the better spot. So yeah, it's positioning. I would start with that for now. Other than that, well, not holding your ultimate, it's mostly it's just about your positioning before as well, yeah, making sure that you're not out in the open, you're not exposed to too many things. Play corners a little bit more too, so this way it makes it easy. You're not just getting out in the open. Maybe it's the same about Wanda. Let's see. About Wanda, it's again extreme burst, so you always need to make sure you set up on some sort of flank as much as possible. Okay. Yeah, this is just gonna be tough because of the when you're picking out, you're still in this animation. So the big thing about that is, first off, just when you start, make sure that you peek out at the last second, so you not die in the ultimate form. It's like we almost use that at this point, and the position is good. Probably the timing is okayish as well. Your team is pushing in, but you're just picking out at a little bit early times, and that's why you're just getting destroyed here. Yeah, especially when they have this Punisher. But I think you still can manage that, even so, if they use that. If you peek out at the last second, you probably will be fine, to be honest. Okay, let's see. What about your next ultimate? Do you have any questions so far, by the way? I know I only cover ultimates, but is there anything else?
Not much right now, no. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. What about your next one? Okay, we're on. Yeah, we got the ult charge. Yeah, just like that, I think this is fine. If you detonate at this last second, I really like that you kind of peek shooting, scouting too. Start animation behind the corner. Yeah, just like that. You wait, and then peek out at the last second. Yeah, this is pretty well done, I think. And you see what you're forcing them to do. It's not that you have to get a lot of kills. You're just forcing them in unfavorable spots. You force those guys to be more scared, so they most likely will push towards your team. Maybe they will try to hide somewhere where your team can push as well. And in the end, getting kill is always nice, but not the priority. Just zone out the enemy first off, and this way it becomes easier. Okay, I think it's mostly... That's about it, about the ultimate so far. We can watch any other replay for now, if that's good. Let's spin.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah. If you have any questions later, let me know. You can send me any questions. Oh, okay. Snacks. We got Snacks. Snacks, do you have your own code in here? I cannot see the code. If you're in here, can you let me know? Okay, I see that... Yeah, there's no code currently. For Snacks, at least. Maybe if they're not
even in the VC.
Yeah, they're not in voice. They've been in voice before, but that's okay. Yeah, well, we're just gonna choose other name. If the Snacks will appear, let me know. Just tag me so I can read. Hanzo Jackson. I think there's time to get one in for me. I'm about to get off. Well, I will try. Did you put in your code? Sorry, I cannot see the code in the chat here. I put in the names and then I do the words, pretty much. I think we're gonna hit the 2 last ones probably, and that's it. That's okay, that's okay. We can also do your WOD later on, if you want to. Okay, Trafalgar. I will remove your name, and we have the code in here, Magic Storm. Okay, we focusing on your magic or the storm at this point? What do you want me to focus on, Trafalgar?
First round I was like really struggling, so I just kind of want to like go over that. Like I popped off the second round and it's overtime, but
That's okay. Your name is Vortex in here, or what is that?
is that the right vibe?
Let me see. First round, I saw it a bit. Yeah. GM2.
I wonder if I put the wrong code in.
Maybe. I cannot see. I remember your name is Trafalgar in the game, probably, if I'm not mistaken. But
Nah,
not?
it's not. It's actually something else.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Then,
finna load it. I'm finna load it up. Give me a second.
that's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
alright.
thought I put the right code in.
Yeah, no problem. Let me see if I did put in the right code actually too, because maybe. Do you mind if you give some pointers for this VOD as well? Yeah, of course, Arthur, as usual. Why not? One of the best magics on the server, right? Okay,
Perhaps. You could say that.
yeah. Maybe in the world currently, who knows? Okay.
Yeah, nah, I don't think that's the right code. Hold up, give me a second.
Yeah. Take your time. Actually, just a quick thing about the magic. A lot of times what we are looking at with my students is exactly angle control, because we have a lot of bursts that's really good, and maintaining angles. Actually, a lot of people would end up just going back to main, which I think it's not necessary. You can just keep the angles, and there are a lot of stuff about the mechanics which is probably Arthur is more experienced with. Maybe they can give some pointers too, but I'm just gonna focus mostly on the hero shooters fundamentals pretty much. Okay, we got the code. Perfect. I'm gonna put in the chat in here. Is it correct one? Yeah, it is. Competitive Central Park. And what is your name in here?
It's the storm. The storm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are we
Already a good start with the name.
Do we want to focus on your storm or the magic?
I want to more so focus on the magic, like the first round, because like I felt like I was getting marked a lot, and like they were just like peeling super hard for me. I wasn't getting like a ton of value in my opinion.
Okay, let's take a look. So right away we're starting off on this sort of flank here, which I think mostly is gonna be fine. If you can time your pressure with the rest of your team, that is perfect. Maybe you can even try to fight somebody on the same angle if somebody will try to take it. Maybe there's gonna be Phoenix, maybe there's gonna be Squirrel Girl, I don't know who. So be ready to challenge those guys too. They're all on the main currently. The Venom also just jumped off the map. Well, okay, going in for the pressure. Yeah, slightly off with this particular combo in here. I think I just probably need to make sure that we do it faster at this point, kind of get stuck in here. But
Yeah.
it's also... Okay, so this is what I think. And maybe Arthur can correct me if I'm wrong too, but I think that your pressure, it's like looking like this. You have this big spike of pressure because you have a lot of burst, and this should be done in two cases. You either have opportunity to get a kill on the person, or you fighting in the space where most of your team is active. And if I'm looking at this, there's less opportunities for us to get kills because they have full resources, and currently this guy's here, most of your team is fighting this choke. So I would personally like these guys to cross the bridge a little bit more before you actually start doing anything, unless you find an opportunity to look for an easy kill. We're just always fighting, this is what I call the kill zone. If possible, yeah, if there's no other option, if anybody enters in the kill zone, preferably for you, it's gonna be squishy, because easier for you to get the kill on. Yeah, we're also able to set up for that. So I'd really like you to wait slightly longer, to be honest. And once they start crossing, maybe you can go for that. Or isolate a target, like anyone who is more killable is also gonna be fine. But I think this is just might be the wrong time for you to pressure, and you see that because those guys can't just wait this and just play slower, they can punish you, and because they punish you, your team can do a whole lot. They cannot just react to that aggression towards you, but if you would be doing it towards this space here, then it will be easier for everyone else to follow up, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe Arthur, if you can also put in something here, let me know.
Yeah, he just went too early, but no, that was right. Like he just went too early. There were still all their cooldowns and like nothing for him to really get done.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, and also you're kind of not able to stay on the angle afterwards. But yeah, well, at the end we getting on the angle there too, and but it's just yeah, it's exactly the spikes of pressure is gonna be really important. So patience is always highly appreciated. That's fine, I think, but you gotta be careful with commitment. Just reading the what they got, the defensive. I think it's just as long as you fight for anyone who is taking angles as well, because you're good at just map control, at dealing with anyone who's taking angles with you. That's good, but make sure you approach it in 2 steps. Get the map control done, so you clear the space, and then after that you can either secure the kill or just keep abusing the fact that you have space and do your own pressure, like towards here, for example. So I think maybe it's not even necessary to dash in at this point, because they kind of too low. You could see that. Let me see. You're still forcing them out at this point. Yeah, you're going for the right click.
He could have gotten the kill if he hit the dash, but he
The dash is
teleported,
good.
which
Yeah,
forced him
teleported.
forced him into an animation he can't get out of, and then he also used too many cooldowns because of it.
So just kind of do it faster with the dash then, probably. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Okay, yeah. Then it's just either this or, yeah, you probably can also have an option to play it slower, maybe. You just force something, and then after that you can think about committing, I don't know, towards anyone in the main. Because the drop to main, you have the map control, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, same thing as the first one. I'm not sure about this here. Well, probably... You search for people. I'm even thinking just anyone who enters here, like if their tank gets low, even valuable. But honestly, one of those guys feel slightly better. Those guys seem a little bit too far away. Again, what do you think, Arthur? It still feels kind of a little bit too far away?
It's just a little too far away. I mean, obviously you have people below him, but like if you have to teleport to hit your dash, then it's just not worth it.
Yeah,
that's too many cooldowns for it.
Yeah.
The right click into the dash is what you want.
It just feels that we need to be more accurate. If we can just simplify that, yeah, more accurate at the right time. Make sure that the spikes of pressure are exactly. That's pretty tough.
The reason that we don't want to use those two, like the teleport for the dash right there, is because right as we're trying to run away, right, we were stuck in main because we only had one. Because like after we hit this combo, we try and get out, and we only have that one teleport. So now like we just have to walk and hope they don't shoot us.
Yeah. It's just really, especially I think if you look at anyone like dive guys, like there's a semi like dive brawl character. I think you can kind of go from point A to point B really fast at the same time you fight in the melee range. I think it's good if you look at it in 2 steps. I always say that the dive is not all about that one spike of pressure, which is here. Yeah, it's not only like make sure you hit that and then you are gonna be fine. I think it's good if you approach it like this way. You go in for the spike of the pressure, do something, force out something. Yeah, maybe fight for the map control and such, but then afterwards the enemy is gonna use something and you can hit them with another spike or kind of just force something, stabilize, and then after that you can hit them too. But now we just kind of fully invested. Yeah, like Arthur said, I think it's gonna be really tough. If you don't have anything at this point, it will be complicated. Just stay alive at this point. It's like if you also been in the games like Overwatch, similar idea, Tracer, similar ideas on the any dive characters in this game too. Black Panther also talk about that Salak. You rest all your dashes and you don't have an escape. When you're this first step stage, when you're trying to force out something, it's gonna be tough. Maybe the good skill, in my opinion, would be always try to anticipate what abilities they have as well. It's just what you're trying to force out. The defensive can be anything, can be the any defensive ability, and then after that you read that, try to force out that first, and then maybe you can think about the commitment a little bit more. Okay, we lost the first point, but let's see how it plays out next. I think your setup in general, I appreciated you setting up on the flanks and not just fighting in the open, so sort of with the rest of your team. It's just the timing it feels, and making sure you're able to stabilize is gonna be slightly better at this point. Yeah, it's always good if you can scout a little more too. They're trying to scout you too. I'm not sure the skull girl even knows. They maybe hear you here. Yeah, they maybe. Yeah, they're trying to scout you at least. You see, there's another thing I'm thinking about, because you also have whenever you have other divers too, there's one option for you to sort of cheat your way through. Whenever you have a big advantage, if maybe divers providing you that, or maybe you know that you have an ultimate sometimes, I think, because this provides even more pressure, maybe you can just look to commit a little bit more. I'm not sure in here if you can commit with a Spider-Man. What do you think, like, Arthur, would you ever, if the Spider-Man dives in on something, would you try to also combine the pressure and just get out with them? Would you try to do that?
Can you look main real quick?
Yeah, the main is really far, I think, at this point. But
okay,
what do you think?
I would go in here just because like that's a 2-2 split with the high burst versus what they're trying to do, which you can absolutely at least confirm one kill with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And since everyone else is distracted by people in main, like you can actually just hover there even after you get one kill and contest point.
Yeah, so it kind of feels that with with the rule I mentioned right at the start, we either fight for the skill box where we're just trying to force out something, or you can fight at the times where there's high chance to get a kill, and those guys, divers, they provide you the skill opportunities sort of too, because it's 2v2 exactly. It's this split, so why not? I think on the paper it works out, and yeah, like Arthur said, I think they're pretty experienced with that too. I think it's a good time for you to try to do something. While later on, when they try to go back and peel, this is the point of time, if you didn't confirm the kill or stabilize, sort of, you get back, yeah, you stay in the angle, and then you can re-engage. It's either do the same in terms of try to search for those skill opportunities like it's been here, 2v2, 1v1, or, again, waiting for the kill box to happen and then fight, I think. Then it would be completely fine. But now, yeah, this is gonna be pretty tough, I think. Let me see. Your Spider-Man gets out. I think you're not gonna be able to live this. Yeah, you know, this is gonna be really hard. Okay. Are you getting out? Oh, okay, we got out. But you see, it's so hard to stay alive in this case, I think. It's just so many people, so many eyes looking at you too. And now we might lose the sub time because of it. When your team is engaging, the kill box happening at the point, then it might be exactly what we need to contribute to, maybe. But you just got forced out so much, so it will be complicated to do anything. This is another thing. I think it is a big advantage, like I said before multiple times. Big advantage, you may just not necessarily set up on the flank. I think it's fine. Like, let's say Doctor Strange hits their ultimate, well, maybe I can go for something. I can try to just destroy them. They also stand there too, so it's not too bad, I think, at this point. But it's just the pressure before. You can add up all together, so you may win this fight easier. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough at this point. Yeah, we still get a kill. Yeah, well, you also have an ultimate. Well, what would you do, Arthur? You're really close. They're really close to their ultimate. They probably don't need to commit, I think, at this point, or should they? Benny's using the ultimate. I think it's pretty tough.
They're just down too many right now. Yeah. It's just not worth
it. Yeah.
I think you just engage the next fight with it.
Yeah. So like we said on the paper, the score of the fight, I always tell people there's a score of the fight is sort of the people available who's alive. So in here they have how many? 4 people at least. And there's also, let me see. There's also, I think, oh yeah, 5 people. Never mind, 6. Okay, that's my bad. 6 people alive, and you only have 1 member alive, and also you. So there are 2 people, and also, well, your penny is using something. So the score of the fight is not in your favor. Sorry, this is gonna be 2 plus 1. The score of the fight is 3, and you have 6. That's how I usually do that to keep it simple. Obviously, each ultimate provides different value. Yes, some of the ultimates are cheaper, some ultimates are sort of higher quality, but I think just even based on that, yeah, look at the kill feed, look at how many people are available there, and then this makes it easy for you to decide should you even engage on in the fight in here. Okay, yeah, do you have any questions? I know it's pretty brief review, but any questions, Sorfelger?
Nah, I just like wanted to like kind of understand why I struggled, like how I struggled the first round. Because like I said, the second round I just ended up popping off, and I think like my timing probably was just better on the second round than the first round. I think I was like playing like way too like passive in a way, or I was like playing too like engaging too early.
Makes sense. Yeah. So to summarize, I think making sure that there are kind of 2 ways where you see that there's a big kill opportunity, and it's based on multiple factors. Like here, just look for if there's an even situation, 2v2, I think it's fine. Divers, generally speaking, is good to sync with. You can fight for the kill opportunities, sure, but make sure this is based on something, and maybe they use cooldowns, maybe like we said, 2v2, maybe low HP, or fight for the kill box a little bit too. So you just make them go in, well, wait for them to go in first, and then you can do something. And map control, well, probably I still think if you can, just force out the members. Anyone from the off angle, just force them out. You not necessarily have to chase them. You can kind of break it down 2 steps. Map control, win the angles, and then after that you can do your own stuff. Probably, the mechanical thing, being faster with the cooldowns and such, Arthur pointed that out, I think is also good to know. So you can keep that in mind as well. Make sure the spikes of the pressure is there when you know this is happening. You go in, but don't forget to stabilize afterwards, so you're able to. If you're hitting, for example, the kill zone, it's usually going to be done 2 steps. Yeah, you hit in the kill zone, you're forcing out something, then you get out, then you repeat after that, and you making sure that you get out on the angle too. So this way it makes it easy. This is uptime, in, out with the character, I think is really good. Yeah, I would do that for now. Well, we still have time to do one more, actually. I have a session in 30 minutes, so we still have time to do one more. let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna go on spin the wheel. Okay, 4 names. Okay, again, if you guys gonna have any questions, I know it's pretty brief review, and I'm mostly focusing on the fundamentals, but if there are any, let me know. Okay, this is the code from I2, and are they in here? Okay, I see you in here. Do you have any notes for this game? What is your name? What do you want to focus on in there as well? What kind of feedback you want?
So for this game, I think I was playing mainly tank. I think I played a little bit of Loki in the beginning. I don't know if that was this game or not, but I don't really know what I was thinking this game. I think this was a solo queue game, so it was it was a little bit iffy. I just want to know what I could have done better. I was kind of engaging as what I thought was good engages, but yeah.
So you just want to... well, is there a particular tank you want to focus on more, or?
Probably my Venom is the most I want to focus on.
Okay, it's gonna be a lot of similar stuff to the Magik, I think. Well, in terms of the spice of the approach, at least, because I like to talk about that too. You just in, out, making sure you do it at the right time. So probably the same ideas you can follow from the Magik is either you fight something what's really killable for you, for whatever reason, or you just fight in the kill box. And your setup matters a lot right at the start too. So let's watch. What are you gonna do? Wait, what happened at the start?
My strange didn't calm that we were TPing, so I kind of swing out to do the rollout, and then I just hear the portal open. Like, wait, we're portaling, and I call it out to my team like, hey guys, we're portaling. Stop walking main, please. And then honestly, my supports are like, yeah, no.
Honestly, it's not too bad if you just go and do something else, I think, as well, because you have the insane mobility. You can already maybe hit your second ability, and by the time they TP in, you just establish you another angle, which is completely fine too. You don't have to feel that. It's just mostly for the characters with less mobility, which is DP is it's okay. It's not too big of a thing, but I also wonder maybe if you just get on the other angle somewhere, you don't get noticed. They don't know where you are, who you are, maybe at the start because they're still scouting, and you may hit better, just better slams and everything. But now they just poke you down, yeah, because you started with the TP, and but it could be already, I don't know, where it could be on the top at least. Yeah, we could be just running, maybe even using their top at some point, just trying to kind of go from the back. I don't know. Definitely the main field stuff at this time. Okay, your Hawkeye gets a pick. Just going for the pressure. And see, this is exactly so important, I think, if you can just hit the slam at the right time as well, just when the engage happens. But now it just might feel that it's a little bit too much pressure being on your team already, so it's difficult. This is still okay, but I think you could already hit 2 slams at this point, probably. If you set up, be patient, they start walking, you hit the slam in the back line. Once the pressure in the kill box happens, and I think it's even better, the hitting the tanks, especially when you down something, and I think this is what the Blood also said in the Sarlacc review. Yeah, if you're at disadvantage, and this is not too big of a disadvantage, by the way, especially in this case, you cannot play too slow to just punish their tanks, unless they're really killable. I think you gotta play for just fight their backline members a little bit more. It'll be easier. So yeah, it just if you play the slow war, they win. They win no matter what. They have an advantage. Unless they make a big mistake, it's gonna be difficult for you. So set up 2 slams, probably fight the back line, set up on your angle. Yeah, it feels really out in the open most of the time there too. Yeah, so it's just kind of. I really would like you to just cycle a little, go and set up, make sure you set up on the flank somewhere, what I call the 180 angle, if possible. You may, for example, go here. Your team is trying to go from there. Once they start walking, you can start walk as well. Either just try to get a kill or fight for the skill box area with the rest of your team. So now this is exactly the time when you can be thinking about the setup maybe. But you're getting chased, so yeah, it's understandable you getting forced out. But now you have time. You have time, you can think. Where do you go? Are you gonna swap? Oh no. Okay, we're just waiting. I think this time just go and think. Go and think, take your angles. I think just go, maybe go take above, go here, then you're gonna be on some sort of off angle this way, and then the pressure happens. Let's say it's in the choke. Okay, fine, you can stun the choke. If your team pushes more forward, then you can be thinking about slamming in here. To be honest, if you have time, I would always try to use their spawn as much as possible, so it diverts the enemy attention even more, because you have that mobility. Now it just feels that we're playing more of a, like, stationary character in a way, which is with the rest of our team, which is not how the mobile characters should be played. Yeah, mostly your play is about the diverting the enemy attention a little bit more. And so you're not too good at brawling, like, face-to-face either. You would also play, let's say you play Groot here. Well, maybe, it's fine, but you play Venom, so it becomes tough. Yeah, does all of it make sense, or any questions about what I mentioned?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I feel like I don't know what I was doing. Generally, I'm trying to look for as many slams as possible.
Yeah.
Like, rather that be, because I've always been taught, or I've always think, like, by time your E cooldown comes back, if you at least get a second slam in before that happens, then it's always good.
Yeah.
To be cycling.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. So to just be able to do that, probably make sure you set up first off for those slams so it's easier for you to do. So you don't have to feel that you have to slam first from the main, then slam again, because you could see that what ends up happening. You're not able to get a lot of value, and to be honest, slams done in a way. It's harder because they see you, they pressure you. They have the more pressure from the front, and you're just getting pushed. So I think just invest time, setup, you have time. And then after that, you can do something. You can probably hit those 2 slams regardless, especially when your team is resetting, or when they're using the TP as well. That's fine, let them do that. Your mobility can be used up to 2 times, I think. You have enough time to just get in a position. Maybe first cooldown is just to get out of spawn, second probably set up on the angle afterwards, and you'll be pretty good, honestly. You guys end up winning. Now it's again try to think about the setup. You need to set up on the choke. Probably that will be the best to fight for, like here. Yeah, this is good. You can also go above. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is what you're looking for. Setup first, and then after that, when they start walking in the kill box, and here, you can start hitting the slam. Okay, your Punish is using ult, but they're matching, so the tempo is equal in a way. So let's see, what do we... That's fine. You set these to farm damage if they start walking. Maybe you can even start slightly earlier, even if you don't... Yeah, because you see those guys, there's already Squishy walking in a way, like there's Bucky here. I think it's not too bad because your team's fighting here. Probably it's okay. You may also force them to... out of position too, because your Punisher is using their ultimate, they force those guys to hide. Yeah, like I said with the Punisher review, the good ultimate of Punisher forces you in certain positions, so you can keep that in mind, and you can pressure here, make the chaos, and because they may be trying to dodge you as well, they try to move left and right, and then they get punished by the Punisher too. So that's fine. I would just fight now. Yeah, just once they start walking. And you probably would have the big uptime this way. You hit 1 slam, you just shoot, get out, and then after that you can hit the next slam again. Not sure we have to get out that far, but let's see. I probably would like you to think about the setup again. The same idea. It's just, your team is gonna push back, sure. But where can you go at this point? Let's see. Yeah, what do you think? Because you're gonna be fighting, most likely, it's gonna be this area here. They're gonna be crossing this line here, and you're gonna be fighting for that. So what do you think is the better space for you to set up for?
So what I'm thinking here, rather than me swinging all the way back there, I'm thinking we swing onto the ramp there. If I swing onto the ramp, then I can almost immediately set up for another slam.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think it would be so much better. You just start here, opportunity, something happens, okay, I'll go in for the slam. But now you have to go all the way, you went from A to B and then all the way here again. And this is what I mean by when you play the dive characters, you don't have to go from A, B linear way. It's always going to be thinking about it less linear. Okay, I went from A, but then how do I set up on another angle? And then go in again, and then maybe go back to B or maybe other angle, like let's say I go, I don't know, above the roof here, and then set up for another pressure, so you don't have to always go like in the line back, forward, go to the sides. First off, it will be easier, I think. You have the opportunity, and you do have one. I guess you end up doing the same thing, hitting the slam, but it would just be earlier slam, and would be much easier. Yeah, one of the students, I remember, we literally went over this stuff with them on Venom. They've been able to climb pretty decently, just set up consistently. They've been always doing that. I think it just their uptime increased so much too. I think that would help you out a lot too. Just been at the early stages of the game too, but I see at this point can be pretty good, in my opinion, if you can do that more. Yeah, well, this is C, sure. Not sure it can do a whole lot here again, because not able to get a kill and your team's fighting here. So you would rather be trying to fight somewhere, I don't know, towards this space or something, or yeah, just probably again set up and then hit your ultimate after. I think it's complicated at this point. You would be, oh, it's pretty tough to get value. Okay, do you want me to focus on maybe anything else, or do we just keep watching? We still have time, maybe you can watch one more fight. And
I think this isn't real. Now that I'm watching this back, I don't think this is a best depiction of me playing Venom.
That's fine.
I was playing some games today on Venom where my uptime was definitely a lot better than this.
That's okay.
I don't know what I'm brawling here.
It's
I'm
just
trying to outbrawl
really
the
feels...
brawl comp. So
yeah, this is true. Yeah, this is just gonna be tough. You would just play the other character in this case. Yeah, it would be even better. Play brawl character in this case would be easier. But if you're playing Venom, then yeah, just go in the back line. But that's fine. I hope there's some of the pointers you can use for the next game, and maybe for this map you can just try to set up more, and will be okay. Yeah, you're pretty high ranked at this point too, so it will be easy to adjust, I think. Okay, I think we almost at the end of all the reviews. I'm sorry for the other guys. I was not able to watch you for today, but I'll be able to watch you later. You can always submit your codes later on, it's fine. I always try to do those community VOD reviews at the end of the months, sometimes at the start of the months. We also done that how to fix your aim masterclass. I've been doing the second part of it, but I need to just go over materials a little bit more to prepare all this stuff. I don't know if you guys watched on the website. I did publish the aim stuff before our first session, but there's a lot of stuff to go over, so we probably gonna do that later in the next masterclass. But for now, I think that's it about the what you use. Do you guys have any questions? Maybe anything what you wanna mention?
I got a question from here when you was talking about some of the VODs. So like, you know, we end up solo queuing or just being in stacks of 3. So in like I hear you talking about fighting in the right positions. So let's say if I'm solo queuing as a tank and let's say everybody's starting to fight before I wanted to start the fight, do I move up and fight with them now, or do I just let them die and get ready for the next fight?
Ideally, you fight with them because you're absorbing the pressure, but the thing is, the question you always gotta ask yourself, are you able to set up for the better position? So you are able to fight with them, but from the better spot, like in this case with Venom, they had time to set up a lot of times, right? But they kind of keep fighting. But if the fight happens regardless, then yeah, you have to be there, because the main point of the tank is absorb pressure in the space where most of your team is active. So you gotta do something there, but always think it's maybe your anticipation where the fight is gonna be. It's maybe also target priority, thinking what targets I'm fighting, using your kit to your advantage so you can set up at the better spots too. Stuff like that, I think. This is how I would look at it, to be honest. Even though you solo queue, and I've always been solo queuing too, I totally understand. Even though if I'm playing brawl characters, it's always I set up first, fight next, being more selfish. Ideally, you should start the engagement. Yeah, you kind of look at the rest of your team and say, okay, what the space they gonna be fighting for? You start the engagement, absorb pressure, and then they follow up, making sure that you do that at the right space, and would be fine, would be okay. Yeah, does it make sense or?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I find myself in a battle with the space thing because I'm a tank or whatever. This is my first hero shooter, so like I'm just now starting to pick up on like positioning and using certain things like your kit, using your kit the right way and everything. So now that I'm figuring out how to like fix myself, I'm climbing. But now when I get to like the higher diamond, like lower GM, I feel like the DPS and stuff, like they're just taking fights at places. I'm trying to call them back to let's fight here and everything. And then it's like, I guess you're right. I need to just go fight with them for real since I'm the tank. So
Yeah, but as mentioned, maybe it's also just anticipating the fight. How is that gonna go? Maybe the tempo of the fight, for example. A lot of people, they struggle with that too. You have an advantage, but you just keep playing back. Maybe you could be taking valuable space. Maybe it's just reading. Like I said, always good to start with understanding of the kill box. I like this idea for the tank. I just always look at fighting in the space where most of my team is active, but I take the best position possible before I do that. If it's not possible, then you fight regardless, but if it's possible, that's even better. That's how you look at it. And there's always this exception rule, like we talked on the other characters. If you're able to get a kill, go and do it. Even though you're playing tank, it's fine. I think most of the time it's fine. Like Doctor Strange, you can hit your E, this Venom, you have a lot of bursts with the slam and follow-up damage. Stuff like that, I think. It's not too bad. Or guys playing Thor, there's also pretty burst character. You can do your own thing. Sometimes you can just try to just get isolated targets too. A lot of the tanks, they still have a lot of burst opportunities too. So you'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. If you're gonna have any questions later, let me know. But for now, I think I'm gonna end this masterclass, and yeah, we'll post the recording on the website as usual. It's gonna be there.